Welcome back, I'm Carrie. This is Keep It Simple DIY. We have some 5-minute snack hacks today. They're not really hacks, but that rhymes with snack, so I felt like I just needed to say it. The first one is something that I actually found on TikTok a while ago, and I've been making it pretty often, and that is a quesadilla in the toaster. So this is great because for one, you only need one tortilla instead of two, because I find that that's just a lot, and you don't need to get anything out, use the stove or anything like that. So we are going to take a tortilla, and depending on the size of the tortilla, we either need 1 or 2 pieces of cheese. So this tortilla is bigger, so I'm going to use 2 pieces of cheese. Make sure my cheese is still good. And then I'm going to add some hot sauce on it. I'm just adding some Cholula. Just a little bit. And the trick here is in the fold. So there is nothing crazy about this, but it is so quick and easy. I usually, of course, do not bring my toaster out. I just did that because then I wouldn't have to bring you into the pantry. But we are going to fold the sides in, fold this in half, and then stick it in the toaster. And that's as easy as it is. Whoop. Like I didn't know that was coming. I started thinking about something. All right, there you go. Look at that. Cute little perfect, very hot quesadilla. So let's take a look. We're nice and gooey and perfect on the inside. Now I of course make this all the time since I've seen it, so I know what it's gonna taste like, but let's taste test it because why not? The crunch. It's so good, so easy, no cleanup. Love it. On to the next one. Snack hack number 2, because I don't have enough chocolate going on today. If you see I'm making some candy, check that video out if you haven't seen it. We're making a peanut brittle with chocolate on top and coconut fudge. But my snack hack is a take on s'mores. So we are going to take some peanut butter fluff and spread it onto this cracker, graham cracker of course. And then we are going to add chocolate chips to the top, and that is a very quick and easy snack, and I don't have to melt any marshmallows or do anything fancy like that. Whoa. Done. Next up is a microwave mug pizza. I have never tried this before, so we're gonna try it for the first time. I have 3 tablespoons of milk, and to that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And what we're doing right now is we are making the dough. And so this says you can make it in a mug, but I'm going to make it in this little dish. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of flour and then a 1/16 tablespoon of baking soda. And if you don't have a 1/16 scoop, just do a tiny, tiny pinch. I'm wondering, perhaps you might also be able to use self-rising flour instead of adding the baking soda and baking powder. We're going to add an 1/8 teaspoon of baking powder. And that's all there is for the dough. I am interested to see how this turns out. So we are going to get this fully mixed, and then you can add any toppings that you'd like. So of course we're going to add marinara and cheese, and then if you want to add anything else you can. I'm going to add a bunch of spices and some pepperoni and olives because why not? It does make it take a little bit longer to do it, but I think it'll be well worth it. So my first impression is that this is a very sticky dough, whereas pizza dough is not a sticky dough. I wonder if I should have sprayed that. Probably, but there is olive oil in it. Okay, I'm going to spread this out all along the bottom. And we're going to cook this in the microwave. It's only going to take 1 to 2 minutes, so should be pretty quick. Next up is marinara, and my marinara got a little bit thick, but it's gonna be okay. I'm just going to put her on the top, and I'm going to make sure not to get too close to the edges. Of course, next up is cheese, and you'll be happy to know that my cheese is not frozen this time. I always have frozen cheese, so putting a little bit of cheese on here. Now I'm going to add some onion powder and garlic powder and Italian seasonings just because I think that's delicious. You could stop here though before adding these and stick it in the microwave, and that's all you need to do. I just want to add a few extra things to make it yummy. Now, being a little bit more extra, I'm going to add a few pepperoni, maybe just like this many. And I'm going to cut them into quarters. This was 3 pepperoni. No, it wasn't. It was 4. Yeah, 3 would have been plenty. Now I'm going to add some sliced olives because I can't have a pizza without a sliced olive. Now we need to put this in the microwave for 1 minute. See if it's cooked. If it's not, we want to do it for 10-second intervals until it is. And while this is cooking for that first minute, I'm going to see how much I can get put away. Here's what we're looking like after 1 minute. I can definitely tell that we need a little bit more time, so I'm gonna put it in for another, I'm gonna just do like 20 seconds and then check it. Here is what it's looking like after another 20 seconds. I think I'm gonna go a little bit longer, maybe just get it to about 30 or 35 seconds and then we'll be done. All right, here we have it at 1 minute and 35 seconds. Let's give this a try. Before I try this, I wanna know, have any of you tried anything like this before, and do you think that this is going to taste good? It definitely is more of a like thin dough or like a spongy dough than a pizza usually is. So let's see here. It's not definitely not nearly as thick as a pizza dough. You probably could add more flour and then just cook it a little longer. Cakey, that's the texture that I wanted to say. Hot. It is most definitely cakey. Flavors are great, of course, because they're pizza flavors, but I think if I were to do this again, I would prefer to have the dough be a lot more thick. So I would add a lot more flour and maybe add some other flavoring into the dough a little bit. I don't know. I would definitely do a thicker dough though. But overall, this is a win. Next up is a recipe that I've also never tried before. I'm going to try to make an oatmeal raisin cookie in the microwave. And if this works, this is something that you could get kind of all the dry ingredients to and set them in a container and then just add the wet ingredients in microwave anytime you want. That would be very cool. Oatmeal raisin is one of my favorite cookies. It is such an underrated cookie, and I know it's controversial. Some people really don't like oatmeal raisin. But what this recipe calls for is 2 tablespoons of oats, 1 tablespoon of flour, and this is really easy because most of the stuff is tablespoons. Not everything, but most of it. We're also going to add a tablespoon of brown sugar. Now, if my cookie doesn't turn out, it's because I'm using Swerve instead of brown sugar. So this is a sugar replacement. And the only reason I'm using this instead of brown sugar is because this is out and the brown sugar's in the freezer and a little harder to use. So we are going to do this. We also need a tablespoon of any kind of milk that you would like. I'm using soy because that's my favorite kind. And then a tablespoon of either melted butter or coconut oil. And I'm using coconut oil because my coconut oil is already melted. And that just makes this even more quick. Then we need a splash of vanilla. Well, that's it. 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Now I realized in the last recipe I said tablespoon, meant teaspoon. And then a pinch of salt. We will mix this together, then add in a little bit of raisins, and this is all that we need. It says a tablespoon of raisins. I don't know if I'm really gonna measure that. I think I'm just gonna see how many I get in my hand, and that's probably good. Now I'm going to transfer this into a ramekin, and then this only needs a little bit of time, like 40 to 60 seconds to cook, and that's it. Into the microwave it goes. Here's what this is looking like at 40 seconds. I think we need a little bit more time, so let's put it in for the remaining 20 seconds. All right, here it is. Doesn't really look like a cookie, but we will give it a try. All right, let's see. Okay, this is, ooh, it is hot. It's actually not nearly as like spongy as I thought. It is pretty spongy though. Hot. Doesn't taste like a cookie. Also doesn't taste like oatmeal. Kind of like a cross between. It's way more sweet than just oatmeal would be. And it's way more of a thick texture. It is very delicious. Almost more of like a baked oatmeal, but with a lot of sugar. So this is good. This is definitely good for a snack. I wouldn't call it a cookie though, but I would call it delicious. So there you have it, 4 snack hacks, 2 of which I do often and 2 of which are brand new to me that I thought we would try together. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'd love to see you. If you're interested in some other snack type of videos, I will post them here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.